Welcome to another edition of Entrepreneurs and Fuego. We're documenting entrepreneurs' journeys one digital footprint at a time. I had to remember all that. I've been remembering all that, and sometimes I get it all nice and smoothly, and sometimes I'm like, what is it that I'm supposed to say?
That never happens to me.
With me, I have the distinct privilege of having Mitch Bolnick. And Mitch, you do a ton of things. I mean, you are a real estate agent, and you have, I think, which is more dearest to your heart, is what you're going to describe to all the entrepreneurs out there, what it is that you do.
Well, what I mainly do is support entrepreneurs. I worked at a large multinational company for almost 20 years. Then I went off and bought my own business and ran that and sold that in 2013 after a little under 10 years. And what I decided to do after that was I recognized that a large percent of the population in the United States works for small businesses. And yet small businesses fail at a very, very high rate.
85%.
Exactly.
First year,
and so what I decided I was going to do was I wanted to help small businesses avoid all the rabbit holes I fell in, and if they haven't avoided them already, when they come to me, I've learned how to crawl out of them, and so I'll teach them how to crawl out of them. But and then since I like to use the term, I try to get them shark ready if they're looking for funding. And my passion has been to give back and help small businesses get beyond the 5 years and succeed and grow and become real employment drivers in the country.
So what you found is that it is indeed very difficult for the entrepreneur who is just starting out with an idea, with a dream. It is very difficult just to get yourself, first of all, get yourself going, but then break out of the pack and sustain for a number of years.
So I'll correct what you just said a little bit. It's easy to get going, and that's the problem.
Okay.
Is a lot of people come up with a great idea and go, I'm starting my business, jump in, and that's really why, in my opinion, a lot of them fail. Because they haven't put the forethought in to think about things that, everybody thinks they don't have any competition. Well, I'm sorry, I'm here to tell you have competition.
Just Google your product or service, whatever you're trying to do.
Well, no matter what you're doing, even if you came up with something totally brand new, there's probably someone in the market addressing that pain somehow, some way, and so they are your competition, whether they're doing it in a totally different way or not. And there are other people out there who, once they learn what you're doing, probably can do it maybe even better than you. So there's always competition, and so you need to understand that first. And if you don't understand things like that, truly understanding why somebody's pulling money out of their pocket to pay you for your service or product. If you don't understand that, if you don't understand the key drivers of your business, what constraints your business has, your odds of failure are increased tremendously. I don't have to put any percentages on it. It's a fact. The more homework you do up front, the more you understand, the more you reduce what I call left field. What comes from left field and hits you in the side of the head that you never expected, the more you can reduce how big left field is, the greater your chances for success, and that's what I'm about.
We're here with Mitch Bolnick, who is a mentor to entrepreneurs, and I think that's the best way to describe you, Mitch.
Yep.
And so you work for a multinational company, so you were in corporate America for a long period of time.
20 years.
20 years. And then at what point did you decide, wait a minute, I think I can do better on my own?
Well, that's funny you ask, because I didn't.
How
did
it
kicked
happen?
out.
What? How did that happen?
I worked for GTE, and we were bought by Lucent Technologies. And Lucent basically laid us all off and sucked us in, especially people like me. I was helping run a $100 million business unit, and I had all the support staff that did all the accounting, contracts, all that kind of stuff. And Lucent said we had it all. So, we were gone overnight like that. And
literally overnight, you were just
literally. Well, they kept me on for 2 years working out of my house, and the transition was a nightmare for me. I did not enjoy it at all. But But that's what happened to me is we all knew in the 80s and 90s the whole working for one company for the rest of your life was going to end. We just didn't think it would ever end for us. And the day that it ended for us, the one thing a lot of us decided was we're not going back into that. That trust is no longer there. So many of us left and said, well, let's go build something ourselves. And that's what I did. One of my partners was my old boss. He and I decided, let's go find something to do ourselves.
He was laid off himself.
He actually was laid off a year after I was. We had decided that whoever gets laid off first is going to figure out what we do when we grow up. And that was me. So that was my task. And we just transitioned into it.
How did you deal with that pain? Because it must have been a painful transition. I mean, from not only from a financial point of view, but also from a confidence point of view. Look, you worked for this company for 20 years, and now all of a sudden, you're not doing the same routine that you were doing before. So how do you deal with it?
I was lucky, I think, that I was in that transition for 2 years, and I got to really understand how much I really didn't enjoy working at Lucent Technologies. I asked to be laid off literally twice when certain assignments ended, and they said, no, you're doing such a good job, we're going to give you another assignment. And then when they did lay me off, it was a little bit of a surprise because I figured, all right, they're not going to lay me off, I got to get used to this. But I was actually somewhat relieved when they actually laid me off. I mean, when you work for a large multinational company like that, you get a pretty good severance package. So at that point, I'd figured it all out and said, I'm going to have this much time to figure out what I'm going to do the rest of my life. I just wanted to get started.
The best advice that you can give the entrepreneur who's listening and is looking at the show right now and has that plan and wants to get going, and you said it's easy to get going. What's next? What advice would you give that entrepreneur?
Take a step backwards. And
meaning?
Don't start spending the money on it. Don't start selling it. Don't go into business till you've got some kind of plan in place, that you understand the things that I just was talking about earlier, that you've got financial projections in place, and that you've done your homework. Because if you haven't, again, the probability of you running into problem is going to be increased. And so what I'm about is minimizing that risk. And when you're going out to investors and you want people to value your business higher, the math behind it's very simple. It's all driven by risk. So the riskier they look at your business and look at you and your credibility, the lower they're going to value your company. And so I'm all about, no, let's figure it out up front. Let's reduce that risk, because every startup business is considered high risk. But there's high risk, and there's middle high risk, and there's low high risk. Well, let's try and get it as low as we can so people will value you more. And the reason they do that is because they have confidence that you know what you're doing.
How do you deal with obstacles and stress and anxiety?
I haven't been good at that in my life, but I can tell you that I've gotten much better at it. You asked me about the failure I felt when I was laid off.
Yeah.
I actually felt more of a failure when I sold my company.
Really?
Yeah, I was bummed. I wanted to own my company forever. And
why did you sell it then? Did it look good at the time?
Well, the recession hit, and we got into some financial issues with our bank. Our bank went bankrupt is really what happened. And the FDIC put restrictions on all the loans, and we just couldn't afford to follow through with them, so we sold the company. So I had felt like I didn't bring it to the place where I really wanted to. But I realized pretty quick after that, hey, you just sold something. Everybody's still employed. I'm the only one that walked away from my company. My partner actually still works there. And so I started realizing, you did create something good. As a matter of fact, last year they did double what we ever did in our best year. So I feel good about that. But I just felt like a big failure then. So how did I overcome that?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I read a book by Napoleon Hill, and it motivated the heck out of me. And it said that if you think you can do something, you can do it. And I believe that. Wake up every day positive and tell yourself you're going to accomplish something and make it happen. And that's how you just deal with it. I have other theories, and if you want, I could share them with you. I have what I call my roller coaster theory, but it's a little more in depth.
Look, the lessons that you're giving us as an entrepreneur who is seeing that transition from corporate to entrepreneur, having gotten a company started, sold the company, now to where you are incredibly invaluable. And this is about giving back. This is about mentorship. This is about somebody watching this show and going, you know what? I think I should give him a call because I don't want to make all those mistakes. I mean, I know that I have a journey to go through, but this dude's already done it. He's already gone through that pain, and that's what's cool about it, man. And I really appreciate that. And that's phenomenal. And that's what this show is all about, because we're all about learning. We're all about showing others, what that road looks like and how to deal with pain. More important, because we see a lot of entrepreneurs, we don't know. We're like, okay, so how do we? What happens? If I fail real quickly, should I just fold and cry, or do you? Like you did, you're like, okay, you realize that it's not the end of the world, but just keep going.
Well, and it's more than just that too. I mean, I think every small business person can use a third eye. And
things do fly around here.
Very cool.
It's a pretty good throw, by the way.
And a third eye and a third ear, because you can become really myopic, and when you create something, you think it's perfect.
Yeah.
The best saying I've ever heard in my life was from John F. Kennedy, and that is, the only thing unchangeable in this world is change. And if you're not ready to change, there's a problem. And so that's what it's all about. And having somebody to push you to change is good, and that's what I try to do.
You're awesome, man. You're awesome. I love you, man. I mean, that's sage, right? And how do you? You can't buy that. I mean, if you're a young entrepreneur, you really can't go to the store and buy it.
I agree.
You can't. You can't. You could probably buy the books, and you can.
I wish I had me when I was younger, because it's the whole thing about listen to your elders.
Right.
It's about because I've been there, done it, and now I have been.
And that's exactly what I was going to say. I mean, people that are watching, entrepreneurs that are watching this, they're probably going, I wish I had him, and they do now.
You got me.
You're my man.
Sure.
You're my man, brother. You're my man. And because of that, look, we're going to give you a beautiful T-shirt.
Oh,
actually,
awesome.
This probably I wore that myself already, but this is
all right.
This is out of the package. But it's cool. It's a
peaceful soul.
Yeah, a peaceful soul, and it's got all the teachings that we've learned so far from entrepreneurs, because to be a peaceful soul, to have the entrepreneurship skill, you have to have simplicity, discipline, humility, kindness, and honesty.
He couldn't have said it better.
Man, thank you so much, Mitch. I appreciate it, man. You're
Thank
the man.
you.
I appreciate it. And we're out.